Hello and welcome to the Traybakes and More Cooking channel. I'm Callie and today I have another Northern Irish classic for you. These are German biscuits. You might know them as Empire Biscuits, you might know them as Linzer cookies. It is essentially two shortbread biscuits sandwiched together with jam, raspberry by tradition, topped with some water icing and again traditionally with a glacé cherry. I have made some with sprinkles because everything's better with sprinkles and little Miss Traybakes likes it. So here we have it, German biscuits. So it's a very straightforward biscuit dough to make the German biscuits. Just 3 ingredients. I'm going to start with some butter and icing sugar that I'm going to cream together until it's nice and light and fluffy. And then sitting here in my little patch of sunlight is some plain flour. We incorporate that to the creamed butter and sugar mixture. And that's it, the biscuit dough's done. Now, every now and again, just scrape down your bowl with a spatula like this, just to make sure you've got all the bits of butter and all the sugar incorporated. Just do that, and then mix it again until it's all nice and light and creamy. Now, anytime you're creaming together butter and sugar, don't just do it until it's incorporated. Keep going for a little bit longer until it gets really nice and light and fluffy, and that's going to help your bakes. So all I'm going to do now is mix in some sifted flour, and like I said before, that's it. Okay, so I don't want to mix too much with my electric mixer, but it's just really useful for getting this incorporated. So you want to get this to a point where your dough comes together like that. And then you're going to pull this all together into a ball. There you have it. There's our German biscuit dough. So here we are. Flour your work surface, flour your rolling pin. Get flour everywhere, just like I do. Just be careful, it's a little bit crumbly around the edges, so you might need to cut and re-incorporate and re-roll and sort that out. You can also pop this in the fridge for 30 minutes to an hour or so, just to help it firm up a bit before you bake it. And all I'm going to do is use my little fluted cutter here, just to stamp out the biscuits. Some of them come out like that, so you can see that there, and transfer it to my baking tray. Now, you sometimes need a little help to get these out, so something like this bench scraper is really useful, just for sliding underneath the biscuits and easing them out. You could use a palette knife as well, that would work also. Just keep transferring these to the baking tray. Then I'll gather up all these little offcuts, roll it out again, and cut some more. So as we're making sandwich biscuits, you can try to get an even number. I've actually ended up with 23 today, so one of those is going to be mine fresh from the oven. As with any sort of baking, if your cutter is bigger than mine or smaller than mine, or you make it a little bit thinner, like I say, I usually get around 24 out of this dough. The bake time will differ. Just keep an eye on these because they do bake pretty quickly. And if you are making them bigger or smaller, then just adjust your bake time accordingly. So we're just going to put these in the oven, and that's it. So here we go, fresh out of the oven, still on a hot tray, which I'm not going to touch. We're going to leave this on the baking sheet for another few minutes or so. Just let them firm up before you try and transfer them, because you don't want them to fall apart when you're moving them onto the wire rack. So we'll move them to the wire rack. These cool pretty quickly. They weren't in the oven for too long, and it wasn't a very high temperature, so they'll cool pretty quickly, and then we can get on to the fun job of decorating it. This one has browned a little bit on the outside. You don't want too much colour in these, and they will cook before they get too much colour anyway. Some of them might have little cracks depending on how they roll. Some of them may start to bubble up a little bit. But the good thing about making sandwich biscuits is this can be the bottom half. Layer of jam on top and another nice cookie on top of that. No one's going to know the difference. And now we get on to the fun job of decorating. So these are cooled. They cool pretty quickly, like I said. So now we get to decorate. So what we do is we take 2 of the biscuits, sandwich it together with about a teaspoon of jam. Raspberry is traditional. You use whatever you've got or whatever you prefer. And then we're going to put a little blob of icing on top. And then again, traditionally would be a glacé cherry, but I know not everyone is a fan of the glacé cherries. So I've got some sprinkles here as well, because everything's better with sprinkles, and Little Miss Traybakes is a big fan. But you can put any sort of sweet, jelly tots or something like that on top of their Smarties even, they would be good. There's a fine line now here with your icing. You want this thin enough to be able to spread, but thick enough so that it doesn't fall off the edges and go all drippy. But you know, if it does, just pretend that it was meant to look like that. Now, it can be a little tricky to put the icing on the top when you've already got the jam on there, because you're holding onto two and the jam's all oozing a little bit. So sometimes it can just be a little bit easier to decorate the top half first. Spread your icing as much as you want it to go. A nice circle there. And just for a little bit different, there's a few sprinkles on that. And then take the jam. You don't put too much or it might ooze out the sides as well. Again, if it oozes out the sides, it was always meant to look like that. You sandwich the top half on, and there you go, it's your German biscuit. And there you have it, all decorated, simple as that. Some traditional with the cherry, some not so traditional with the sprinkles. You can see, happens to me too, overestimate the jam and it oozes out a bit, but you know what, it's still going to taste good. And that's it, German biscuits. So keep an eye out for more recipes, subscribe to my channel, tell your family and friends, and I'll see you again soon on Tray Bakes and More.